I'm James.
I'm Christina,
and welcome to JNC Adventures. So today we're doing something really interesting, something we've always wanted to do, and that is the studio tour at the Jimmy Fallon ride. Now there are several rides that you can do like tours on, but we're right here, literally right next to Jimmy Fallon. We got some time to kill, so we're gonna see if someone's available, do the tour, and take you guys along. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
All right, let's go ahead and do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the National Broadcast Company. We started off with radio, as you can see, radio waves going through our microphone that depicted our logo, one of our very first logos in 1940s. As we moved on, each broadcast company started coming on the airwaves. We had to have a tone to signify who you're about to see here, about to listen to. And that was the famous NBC tone here displayed in our logo. This is actually a xylophone. Ladies and gentlemen, you can pass this here in the middle of a tour.
Oh, okay.
This is actually the notes of the xylophone, which is really funny because the people who owned NBC were the General Electric Company. And these are actually the notes G, B, and C right here to play right there. Those famous tones that you now know. As we move to color TV, we want to display that being proud as a peacock, showing our whole color spectrum. Funny thing is, when we switched to color, RCA did own NBC at one time along with the General Electric Company. They were one bipartisan unit. So when you watch color TV, you're watching NBC on the RCA NBC made TV. So it was a cool monopoly that they did there. Moving forward into the 60s, things got abstract, fun, minimalistic. We have the NBC here, all confined together. This is the famous NBC stand. Moving forward for him. Yeah, one of our famous songs, we run with the giant egg. Won't be long, we'll cover that topic. Unfortunately, it's not around anymore because a company in Nebraska actually owned this logo. But the red and blue did signify our east and west coast. You guys guess what the blue became? The blue actually became ABC. ABC, Wonderful World of Disney did air on NBC at one point when they first started off. As we dropped that, NBC became their own thing, and we went to the NBC and put it on the peacock here. We displayed that proudly in the middle of our end here, and to move forward to clean things up, we start with the peacock. As you can see, our one peacock here faces the past, as their new one faces the future. And the person on my tour kind of told us that the peacock kind of looks like a tie. And I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
So as we move forward towards the future, with high definition, 4K, all different types of Gs and Ks, we just define our logo. A little high def, a little nice shine. Looks realistic, photorealistic. And we have plenty of space as we move on towards the future. Are you guys ready to enter the film?
Yes.
Now, this is the famous NBC Studios lobby. This is an actual replica of the NBC Studios we have in New York City. When they changed our posters, we changed our posters. We have the same marble floor and the same displays. This actually came from Studio 6B, Ron Waller's. Cost about $2 million to bring over.
Wow.
Obviously, we are a company, so we were able to pay for that.
Yeah.
One day of butterbeer sales. As we move forward, this is one of our black and white cameras here. It's in mint condition and it can still work if we wanted to run it. As you can see the RCA logo there, they did make our cameras and our TVs like we were speaking about in our hallway. You see that old logo there. It took about 5 people to control this thing. One to frame the shots, one to focus pull, and one to push. It's made out of aluminum brass because of the magnetic profile these things create can destroy the footage. If you remember, you have a cassette tape and a magnet hits it, it's gone.
Right.
Moving forward, another camera that is perfectly well in use, but it's for a display. This one's from the 90s. They tend to look like these days more so. It helps for one person to control it or two. One person might be monitoring while someone's framing the shots. But this is pretty much it. We still use cue cards and teleprompters today. So you can see our studio jackets with those same logos, one facing the past and one for the future. We do keep our studios pretty cold because it gets very hot with our lighting, everything running the technology. We want to keep everybody comfortable, including our actors. This is our History Hall of Fame. We have Steve Allen, 1954. Steve Allen created the late night talk show. He was a trailblazer of his own time. He's the man on the street creating interviews with celebrities. They'd be talking to town. It was a little more serious back then, though. But we still had some funny moments, but not comedy-wise like it is today.
Right.
When he started, he pretty much did kind of pioneer and start that opening monologue thing. It's like an address to America.
Right.
Moving forward, we wrote Jack Carr. Jack Carr was a host for the morning show, and he took over the program for Steve Allen. He had a stutter in his time. He could not talk with his syllables, so he put buttons in his mouth to fix his speech. They had some famous last words, because he said the word water closet, and the censors on TV went crazy. They did not like that he said the word water closet. You can imagine how censored things were back then.
Right.
Today. And so, when he was in his absence, he came back a month and he returned. He had some famous last words, which they quoted here. As I was saying before, I was interrupted. You know, I believe my last words were that there must be a better way of making a living than this. And he said, I've checked. There isn't. And those are some famous words that he spoke there. We do have some donated tickets, TV guys from that time. Moving forward to Johnny Carson. This is the man, my hero. I love Carson. One of the greats. Johnny Carson took the whole entire Tonight Show and made an event out of it. Parodies, sketches, celebrity guests, but it was more so a comedy thing, which opened up and paved the way for Saturday Night Live,
right?
Which actually opened up for more celebrities to get famous. When you were on the Carson Show, MC on the Carson Show, you might have been seen somewhere else. This was the place to be. Here we do have some awards. Those are real awards there. Always some real TV guides and tickets. That TV guide signed by a few celebrities that you might know. Everything else is a replica. Us too. We got it. Interesting topic. I think this is hilarious. If you guys can see, these pencils have double-sided erasers. There's a reason for that. Carson used to fidget a lot, throw things into the crowd. So well, some of those things were pencils. So they're like, hey, we gotta be safe here.
Yeah.
So they put double-sided erasers on his pencils.
Huh.
That's funny.
That's something I never would have noticed. All right.
2009, then Conan O'Brien took over for a whole year, and then he left and he did his own thing. There's a little battle of the slots. Conan O'Brien did write for The Simpsons, and he has his own podcast now, as his show is coming to a close on CBS. But our focus is The Tonight Show, so we're going to focus on Jay Leno here. Jay Leno had the show from 1902 to 2009, and they took over for that 4-year period before he gave it to Mr. Fallon. He actually met his wife in the audience of his show while he was doing an opening.
Wow.
We met her right there, fell in love at first sight, you know. Jay Leno helps us with the romance in this. He's a very charitable bear. He actually donates motorcycles for charity. We're going to get the money together, and he helps out a lot. Another donated award, that is the real award, along with some Tonight Show tickets. And then that hacky sack was used by Jay Leno, so I'm not sure if you can pick from the hacky sack questions. The show back to Studio 6B after a short hiatus. The program moved to California in '72. He always wanted to be a Tonight Show host. As you can see his yearbook there, we have some pens in the way, but it does say James Fallon. We'll most likely replace David Letterman of The Late Show. Right idea, wrong place, but we're happy to have him here at The Tonight Show. We do have some screen use props here. This is for more right. That's something that Higgins has. And Lars Ulrich from Metallica did play this as we go through these. We're happy to have him here. When he asked us for a ride, Universal said absolutely not. It took some time and some convincing, and here he is.
Yeah.
Happy to have him for another 5 years. Across the street, that's Gramercy Park. That's an actual real park that they have in New York. It is private, I guess, but here it's public, and they did make it the only smoking section here, but that will be relocated soon. Then to the right, we have Minions Cafe. That will be here in the summer as well as VillainCon. We can't wait. We're excited to see it.
Yes, us too.
Shrek did have to go, but we make way for the new thing.
Yes. It's going to be very exciting.
This is for the young ones.
Yeah. Alright guys, we are fresh out of the studio tour for Jimmy Fallon. What'd you think?
I thought it was really cool. They took us to some of the different areas that like you see as you're walking through the park, but you never really get to experience, like the balcony area up top.
Yeah, so there were some sections that we weren't allowed to record because obviously you're kind of like behind the scenes, so we got to go through some of the corridors that the employees go through, but we were even in the windows right above us. We're in those windows where #ThePanda does his meet and greet at, so that was pretty cool. And
they also took us by the control room, so it's basically like the room where they have like all the screens so that they're watching you as you're
so
basically
watching the cameras, watching what's going on the ride, making sure nobody's getting out of their seats or unbuckling their seatbelts or anything like that. So that was really cool, and it was just really cool being able to get a different perspective on the park. Like this whole area right in front of us here, we got to see that from a bird's eye view right up there, as well as the balcony by the soundstage over there. So it was just a really cool and unique experience, and it's a great way to skip the line because you get to do something cool instead of just sitting in line. You get to go behind the scenes, see all this cool stuff, and then you're taken right to the front of the line. So that is a really cool thing.
Yeah.
And like I said, there are a few other rides that do this. I know Men in Black is one of them. Velocicoaster and Islands of Adventure is another. I'm not sure what other ones, but the Jimmy Fallon, there's a lot of history in this queue.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cool things that you get explained to you. And I don't know, this I was a really big fan of this. I would do this again. Honestly, just to skip the line, but also just to go into the different sections, and you know, you can see the progress on the Minions Cafe over there from a bird's eye view as that comes further along. So when we come in a month, we may have some more, you know, other stuff to look at over there. So all in all, I think it was pretty fun.
I think my favorite part, since I actually didn't go on the ride,
Yeah, she didn't
I
feel
got
like
to
riding the ride today.
Yeah,
So.
I got to meet #, and I took a selfie with him. So
And
I think that was my highlight.
I'll insert that picture right here. So all in all, it was pretty fun. This is like part 2 to our Mardi Gras video, because the video before this, if you haven't seen it already, it's all things Mardi Gras. And we felt like this video was long enough that it deserved its own video. So that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video.
If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys next time.